So, I'm Becky. This is a radio video archive, and this is Stuart. And we're going to talk about stuff today. And if you like what we talk about, if you enjoy what we talk about, then great. Give us a thumbs up, please. We'd really appreciate that. And share the video. That'd be great. And subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. We full day
It really
outside.
is.
It really is. And then also, this is just a disclaimer. We're doing this for like entertainment purposes. Only take what
It's
you
an
want from it.
experiment.
Take what you want from it and leave the rest. And okay, so
We'll try not to offend, in other words. Do our best.
we
Just
will do our best.
Keep the
not-
even keel and
All right.
try not to go overboard on anything that's going to get anyone off balance.
Exactly.
And try, as a human race, to keep our balance
Right.
individually and collectively, if we can.
We definitely need to try to keep it in balance, and
We've been through a lot in
that
the
is-
last
that is-
year.
yeah,
A lot.
and we're gonna go through a
lot more. Unfortunately,
in
this
the
is
next
only the
couple of
beginning.
years coming up. We're gonna go through a lot more. But I think a lot more people are gonna be waking up
I think so.
and realizing the truth of what's going on, and maybe they'll see our videos and
That's the stress
Yeah.
on me right now. I'm realizing people need to really wake up to things that I've known for decades that is more than obvious now.
oh yeah,
And it's like my responsibility. The world, I told my sister, the world on my shoulders. I have to figure a way for people to figure it out for my own survival as well as our whole
right,
human race.
right,
So this has been going, I've known this for decades. I've known for decades that we live in a fake world. That
Yeah.
things are manipulated
yep,
and monopolized and commodified way beyond what is good for the individual and the collective human race.
No
Way
doubt.
beyond that. And this is something that's been going on a long time. And, no matter what the scam is, now it's their virus scam, but there's always something going on, some war, some disaster, some manipulation. When you look back in
Yeah.
history, and sometimes it takes a long time to figure it out, you look and you say, wow, people were not being told the truth. This was a
No.
manipulation.
yes.
It's the way...
I believe this Earth is an experiment that has gone massively wrong.
Oh, God.
But
Yes.
but there is good in it.
Yeah.
There is good in it. The human beings on the planet, we are strong, and we're powerful, and we're coming into our own, and we're recognizing the truth of what's been going on behind the scenes.
This could be a great moment in history.
And I think it'll be, yes, absolutely a great moment.
Really could be, because we've
that-
been living a lie for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. The Industrial
And a lot of
Revolution.
people have realized what's been going on. A lot of people have realized that we've been lied to for centuries.
I think people are starting to.
So-
I've noticed. We're always hoping, anyway, that
Right.
there's going to be, a turning point.
Right,
Because we've been going through this
And
a
the-
long time.
exactly.
And we don't deserve this as a human race.
No, we don't.
We really have so much more potential, and so we should be enjoying ourselves and being more secure and not having to go through the stress and the health
You
problems
need to look
that
at the camera.
are artificial. I was looking at the girl across the street. Excuse me.
Oh, well,
I'm single. I can't help it.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay,
Beautiful girl, I will notice.
Okay, honey, you're excused.
Quite human.
Back on subject. Sorry.
Hope she didn't hear me.
Oh, probably did.
No,
Probably not, honey.
no.
We're
No,
not that
sense.
loud, and
I don't even think she
she's
knew we were over
way
here.
over there.
Yeah. Well, people are pretty lonely after being locked down for a year, and so we all have, you can feel it and see it in everyone's karma. They're all looking to connect with each other.
Right.
So we're noticing each
Right.
other a little more right now.
Right, I think so too. We were just at the flea market yesterday. We had our dollar sale yesterday, and a whole bunch of people didn't show up because
Easter.
of the Easter thing, which is a pagan holiday.
Which they change the
and-
date of every year.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pagan holiday, but it's a pagan ritual which we shouldn't be doing anyway.
Oh, it goes back
But-
way beyond,
oh,
way before the
way
Christian thing and everything, the Easter.
Does it?
Yeah, I think it's
Do you
part of
know
the May
the
Day.
story behind all that? Can you tell us?
Not
some
right
of-
off right now. I've
No,
read a
okay.
little bit about it a while back. I guess I shouldn't
Okay.
go into it too much because I don't know the details.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something you can work on in the future. You know, the Easter story or whatever.
Yeah, well, this
so
got my curiosity up, so I'll try to dig up through the giant library and figure where I got that info.
right. Actually, I think I know part of it, and part of it is that it has been going on for thousands of years. This lie that our creators and everybody has, not everybody, but the creator has been telling, you know, and not the one creator. I'm just talking about below the creator. So has been spreading lies and you know, it. I would say getting humanity confused about issues that we're not supposed to be confused about.
I think confused
And
about
so,
its own
confused and
existence, its own validity, its
Yeah, it's
humanity's
probably-
own actual awareness of our actual beings,
of our actual
what we really are,
yeah.
something like that.
And that's what we're supposed to be, is realizing right now who we are, what we are, and that we are strong. We are powerful. And we need to come into our own and spread the light, spread the love, spread the, you know, who we actually are.
Think about when you're a child and,
And I think...
all of the hopes and dreams and the energy and everything you feel in your child, it gets, when you get assimilated into society, it all gets crushed and then you go on a downward spiral.
Right.
In actuality, I think we're supposed to continue to spiral up
Yes.
as we grow and continue to change and grow. And
I totally agree with
I don't
that.
think
they
we are
they
supposed
set
to-
things in our path to make us go the other direction when
Food
we're
is-
supposed to be going the other direction.
food is part of
Right.
it right now. The
Oh, yeah.
industrial food since the 20s with all this.
Food, water, air.
Yeah.
I mean, everything
The
they're
media,
doing. The
um,
media is a big one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Programming.
Programming. Yeah.
Even when you look back at the original radio and all the original newspapers, it's never been quite above board. Not
Never
quite.
been
Never.
quite,
It's
no.
just human nature for the most part, and you have to be kind of, at least under the system that we have, it's human nature. I don't think it's really human nature we're living. It's in the competitive society we have. It brings out different negativities that reverberate throughout society.
Right.
And then we all have to be part of that, and then our energies get drawn down because of that. those
Because of that.
factors.
I believe like there's a few people on this earth who are actual human beings who actually know the truth about what's been going on, and they're actually sharing it on YouTube and sharing their stories and their knowledge, because knowledge is power.
It's confusing though, because there's
And
so much out there right now. No one
is.
knows what to believe and where to find the right knowledge, and the mass media is ignoring everything that's real.
Of course.
They pop up on your screen, on your telephone, on your computer, the so-called news, and you know it's not true. I mean, just the fact that they're popping it up, pushing it at you.
Pushing it at you.
You know,
yeah.
and then you
know
read
it's
it,
not true.
and you don't want to
So-
read it because it gets you stressed.
And but it's also a knowing. As human beings on this planet, I think it's a knowing. It's an internal knowing that we should know who we are, what we are, where we came from, and what we're doing here.
How much of our history
know,
that we're
how
brought
much-
up with is real?
Right.
I don't think it is. I think it's a way of, a framework of the mind, a framework of setting up our mental processes, where we don't really link into what we are and what our true past are, and our connection with each other.
And our connection, yes, our connection with each other is a great issue. I mean,
as well as
you
our
can-
connection with these plants and trees that we should have.
Exactly. I mean, just like we're talking now, I understand you, you understand me, you know, and it's more of a knowing. I mean, I've even known since I was a child, since, you know, what was going on, and
Things get manipulated. They manipulate people that are downtrodden, groups that are repressed and put down, and put them into different agendas that that help the elite, that don't help the general population to
Right.
grow.
right,
And that happens to all of us. It happened with the cannabis thing. It happened with all kinds of things, racism, stuff like that. You know, you want to believe in goodness, and so you get manipulated into agendas and that are part of
the bad.
the bad, right?
Yeah.
It's a little confusing and complicated to
It
go
is
into.
confusing and complicated.
Very.
But if I'm gonna say, if you're an original human being on this planet, then there is a knowing within you, and you just need to learn how to tap into it. You know what I mean? I mean, some people. I mean, when I was a child, people would come and ask me, because I have ESP. Since I was a child, I've had ESP, extrasensory perception. I think everybody does. They just don't know how to use it yet.
Well, our society
Which is-
represses it, so we don't tap into our natural.
So, right. That's that thing with the pineal gland, the calcification of the pineal gland. And there are ways to get around that. There are ways to take off of that calcification with pure water. And, well, I shouldn't say pure. I should say clean water. Clean food. I mean, the things that they put in our food, the things that they put in our water, it just builds that calcification of the pineal gland and covers it, and then we can't open our third eye and actually see what's going on.
And we're not getting real information.
And we're not getting the real information.
Or a true
Right,
structured
exactly.
society in a way. I mean, look at Woodstock and look at the things that happened in the 60s, the positive things, what human beings can be, and
Right.
how we can interact with each other in a very positive way.
Right.
Very
We can.
positive way.
Yep, absolutely.
And
But back to my previous thought was that people had asked me, I wouldn't say, maybe 15 to 18 or whatever, and they would say, because I've always believed in God. I've always believed in first source of life essence, our creator. I've always believed in that, and they can say, well, how do you believe it? How do you know that? How do you? And it's just a knowing. It's just there, and it's because we're human beings. It's because we're human beings on this planet, and we know. It's a knowing. It's not that you have to go search for it, or that you have to get educated about it. It's just a knowing, and if you know, you know.
it fits into place if you
It's
don't
fit-
have things keeping you from seeing it and feeling it.
That's true. Absolutely true.
Just things.
But I've always known that there is going to be peace. There is going to be a come about where people will recognize each other and their own humanity, and
It's always felt like there had to be, you know, the silver lining there, that on the other side of this mess, I was told that a long time ago,
yeah,
that we're going to go into really bad times, but it was going
right.
to be good in the
and
end.
then it's going to be good in the end.
That's what I was told directly,
Right.
and I was
And
very
if you
young,
and if you were very young and told that directly,
15.
then yes,
It was
absolutely.
a very turning
that
point
is
in my life,
the
and I
truth.
was given a choice
And-
at that time, and I accepted.
When I was very young, I had I don't know, it was a cereal box, and in the cereal box was one of those white piece of paper and a marker, like not a crayon, but a marker, and I was gonna go color something or something, and then the doorbell rang, and I had to go answer the door, and when I came back, on the white sheet of paper was a perfect form of a dove, which is a symbol for peace. So in that connection, right there, saying that, man, I'm getting chills talking about it. Right in that connection, right there, I realized and I knew it was going to come to a peace. The whole thing that we are being birthed right now, and we're going through this stupid coronavirus that they're putting out there and trying to get people in fear. That's not what I'm about. What I'm about is that it is going to be a peace in the end. We are winning. We have already won. Whatever they try to do to come over this, and it's not going to work, because we as human beings are the all-knowing, the all-powerful, and I'm realizing it right now. I mean, it's just giving me chills all over. Anyway,
Them putting their thumb down on humanity is potentially bringing out the best in us,
yeah,
because we
I
don't
believe
want
that
to
too,
be
because you
repressed.
absolutely have to have the good with the bad. It has to be a balance. There's a balance that
It's part of
I think
part of the
it's Libra
existence
or
of life.
whatever it's
Even in nature, you know, you look at any animals or plants or insects, they're not always peaceful. There's always a pull.
right.
There's different factors happening that keep nature and the flow of life happening.
Right, right. And spiders or whatever, as long as they're outside my home, I'm fine. If they're inside, it's a different story.
Mosquitoes too, right?
Oh, I don't like getting
Oh yeah,
stung by those.
we don't want
Those
that
are
with them. They're
or
starting
bees.
again.
They're, yeah. I mean, but they do have, I saw on the internet the other day, I saw this Chinese guy or whatever. I don't know what. Maybe he was Asian. But he was eating a honeycomb right off the thing with bees all over it. And he was just eating the honeycomb. And I was like, oh my goodness.
And they weren't biting him, huh?
And they weren't biting him. No. They
Bees
weren't
have a
stinging him.
strange
They
way of
weren't-
deciding who they're going to attack.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, there was a giant beehive thing. It was about. It seemed. I mean, it seemed to us as little kids. You know, we were
Right.
like 8. That was
That
this
it
big.
was
It might not have
huge.
been that big, but it fell down from a tree, and the whole backyard was filled with honeybees all over, thousands of them, and all these dragonflies for some reason, hundreds of dragonflies. And my sister and I wandered around this backyard for an hour and didn't get bit once,
Wow.
until finally she got a bucket of water, and we went up to the honeycomb that was on the ground with swarms of bees, and threw the bucket of water on them, and then they did bite her a few times. But
Oh,
they were
yeah.
very nice about it. They knew we were little kids, and
Yeah.
we didn't know what we were doing.
And you didn't know what you were doing.
And they could have really killed us.
Oh yeah.
They could have killed us.
You could have got thousands of stings.
Oh yeah,
And-
they were
and then-
big honeybees, very
Oh, yeah.
healthy, and they were very, very conscientious.
Yeah.
Amazingly so. They have a group bond.
And that's again that's a part of our civilization here, is that we're all connected. We are all one. And as soon as we realize that, boy, oh boy, it's gonna be good.
We've been pretty separated.
We have been very separated by.
In a world where you can communicate so massively, yet we're separated.
Yeah, we're separated.
And even like this YouTube, you push on, there's thousands and thousands of things for people to see,
Right.
and yet the mainstream press that's pushed on everyone is
Right.
almost all false.
Right.
I mean, basically 100% false
Almost.
right now. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether it's NPR, alternative press,
Right.
progressive, liberal, it's all controlled by the
Leftist.
same world controllers that want to take our human freedom away.
Well, they want to do more than that to us.
I know.
They want to hurt us, and then they want to get rid of us.
They want our energies, just like
They
in that
probably want our energy because
that movie The Matrix might be more real than we think, about, plugging us into an electronic thing or something,
Right.
and utilizing our energies and putting us in a dream world.
but we, I mean us, are not part of that. We do not believe in our energies being plugged in, or
Well, plug it in with
I
nature.
don't. Yeah, we are plugged into nature.
Nature.
We are plugged into the nature, to the bees,
More than ever now.
to the trees.
I think as I drive through the country, I see that everyone's, building up to places and fixing up and being artistic and stuff, and we all realize how important our home bases are.
Right, true. Family
And things
is
like that.
very
I think a lot
important.
of people are realizing that.
Very important.
And we've been.
And if you can't talk to somebody about this, don't worry about it. If you can't talk to somebody in your family about it because they're not woke yet, don't try to wake them up. Don't waste your energy on it, because there will come a time when they do wake up, and it's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is for you. That's it. My responsibility is for me. His responsibility is for him. You can't do it for anybody else. You have to do it for yourself. And then you can share your love with humanity.
Our reality has been obscured for so
long. That's what
long
we've been trying to do.
that people don't have lost sight of what we really mean, what we really want, what we're really about.
Right.
Because it's been so glossed over with the technology and the culture, which has been manipulated for a long time. A lot of it has. We're not getting. I mean, you turn on the radio, and 50 years ago there was great music all across the dial, and now it's all the same stuff, and it's not very good quality. Same with television.
No, not very good quality.
With all the stuff that's been made over the years, there's not really good things on television and stuff. Regular television.
No.
And it's not made easy. It's not made. There's, forces on the top that manipulate things don't seem to do it in a way that's beneficial and positive for our human heritage, our human experience. It's not being. It's being run, and it shouldn't be run.
I mean, this absolutely. This earth was made for us. It is.
We don't need someone on the other side of the world or 1,000 miles away telling us what to do, or even downtown.
Right.
We're all individuals, and we're all autonomous in our human body, in our families, in our friendships, in our home bases, and they have no more right, unless we're harming someone, to do anything about another individual.
That's right.
Pretend that they're superior, and they have some kind of rights because they have more money or been given this.
They think they are, but they're not. I mean, the 99%, I think, are rising up, are waking up. We are realizing that we are powerful, we are strong, and we're going to take it back. We are taking it back.
Like the agricultural commissioner here in Florida, Nikki Fried, when it first started, I was going on the radio praising her because she was all pro-cannabis, and I thought she was a great person. And I won't go into detail, but I heard her speak about a couple of weeks ago, and
it wasn't good.
It was right out of the book 1984 by George Orwell. I mean, this lady, she wasn't even talking agriculture. She wasn't even talking cannabis. She was talking about things that were like about taking all of our rights away and dehumanizing us. And I'm thinking,
not good.
So she will be replaced in the next election. So we have to hope that her replacement is better.
It's better, right?
Yeah, because she doesn't represent the cannabis people.
No.
Or anybody, except for an inside group, and you can tell from what she's saying that she's part of that inside little clique, and that's as far as I'll say.
Okay. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Trying not to play hardball here, but.
No.
She doesn't represent us, and I have to say things because I praised her on the air.
Right.
And very much so, a few times.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, and I was not.
I think she was bought.
Yeah.
That's what
maybe she was okay in the beginning.
It sounds like to me she was bought.
Bought off or bought into.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe she was okay when I was praising her in the beginning.
In the beginning, she was probably okay.
She seemed like a decent human being.
Right.
But what she's saying now is unacceptable, and she should not be holding public office,
Public
after
office.
what she said.
Right.
And the views that she's holding now.
Right.
And I don't think she will, because here in Florida, we're not going to stand for that thing, I don't think. She's not representing people. Not that elections are all what they're cracked up to be.
What they're all cracked up to be
You
anyway.
know, when they're fair, I don't know if they ever are. Hardly. Barely.
I think,
Sometimes they are.
I don't know if you guys know what a Baha'i is, but I was raised as a Baha'i. It's called the Baha'i faith.
You mean the Shriners?
And no, the Shriners are not Baha'is.
Oh, they're two different things? Because they wear the
There's
same
two
kind of
different-
hats and things.
Baha'is don't wear hats.
Oh,
like
well, it
that.
says Baha'i on them, the Shriners. It's B-A-H-A-I or something.
Yeah.
It says that on
Well,
them.
it says it on them.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Haven't you ever
Oh,
bought
you're
them?
telling me something.
Haven't
new.
you ever bought any of those units that have those in there?
No.
When I was a kid, we were.
I bought units that have had the Mason stuff in it, and I
Lot
don't
of
want to
it.
go there.
When I was a kid, we in 5th and 6th grade, we were in elementary school. We were in the Glee. I was in the Glee club,
Right.
and one of the things we did each year, they brought all the Glee clubs of all the elementary schools all around the Orlando, Orange County area to the Shriners headquarters in Orlando, and we did our whole show, singing our whole thing in front of thousands and thousands of those people with their big hats on.
Right.
That said Baha'i on it and stuff, and they
Uh-huh.
called themselves Shriners, and all of them were very old, and they were all in business suits, and they all sat there completely immobile, and never smiled, and never showed any emotion at all. And they
Really?
just seemed to enjoy having youthful kids around there doing our thing, but they didn't seem to be I guess they were gathering the energy, but it was not a pleasant experience for us.
Gotcha.
They were very, very negative, very soulless.
And you realized that as a child that they were.
Well, you're sitting there singing in front of thousands of people that aren't even smiling. I think
Right.
you'll notice it.
Oh yeah.
And you
I
do
would
it 2 years
notice,
in a
definitely.
row.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if that still
I've never
happens.
had that happen. I've never been to a Shriners meeting, so I don't know about
That's all I know about
that
them.
in particular. But as Baha'is, we would actually vote for our own in the different cities, the different counties, whatever. We would actually vote for our own people who we wanted to be in charge of treasury or whatever, secretary, whatever.
So that's different
The
than the
people
Shriners.
would actually pick. It's different from China. Yeah, it is.
Because they had that
It's,
Baha'i thing on their hats. They all had it on their hats when I was a kid. I don't know why. They somehow took it from the group that you were a part of.
Maybe they did.
And
I
so
That's gonna be
that would be
my
interesting to
homework
research.
for the day.
Yeah,
Is
research
to
that.
research that because
It's all new to me
I've
what you're
always
saying.
I've always known that Shriners are separate. They're not Baha'is. Maybe they are. I don't
I
think
thought
so,
they were the same.
because
I thought they were I thought they were the same thing. And my father was in the Masons. He was a 32nd degree Mason.
Wow.
And he also was in the Shriners and had that Baha'i hat and
Right.
everything too.
I think
They were at his
up
funeral.
until because my father's brother Al is a Mason, and I don't know what level he is or whatever, but I know that from 0 to 32 or whatever, they don't do I don't know, maybe they do some of the ritualistic things,
The 33rd degree is the
and
big
they
one.
don't realize what they're doing.
I think so.
But after the 33rd degree and above, they absolutely realize what they're doing.
And that's like the George
And-
Bushes and
and-
such, yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Reagans and Bushes and things.
not good. Not good.
Yeah,
So-
inside clicks. Well, Kennedy, just before they killed him, was saying we don't need secret organizations and secret,
Right. Right.
I forget the exact wording that he used, but he was coming down against all them concepts.
Right.
And they took him down.
And they did.
Thoroughly.
And they took him down. They took him out.
And they took down everything he represented over the entire decade, the 60s to come, as the entire generation that was grown up under Kennedy went on to think that was the world that we were going to create.
Right.
And that's what the 60s were about, partially created by John F. Kennedy, who was, you know, the first...
Man, I love the 60s.
And he was doing LSD in the White House.
The love movement. And you know what? I love that.
There was so much that is not captured. People don't know what really happened.
Yeah. No, I don't think... I don't think they...
The feeling in the air.
I don't think they get the click of it. You know,
No.
They don't get it.
The adventure, the excitement, the
right.
love,
you would
the
actually have to be from the 60s to realize what was going on in that special time, and that wasn't special time.
And it was a real movement of people connecting. It wasn't like the left or right thing. Since then, it's all been absorbed by so-called left and right. But back then, we knew that was the left, and we weren't part of that. You know, we weren't the right, left. We were something different.
Something different.
Something different. And now we're supposed to be absorbed in that. And it's like, wait a minute, that is not really what we represented. What is being formed right now. And, you know, they call, you know, progressive, you know, I mean, you can't listen to them. All they're talking about is gun control and, you know, taking everyone's guns away, but they're not talking about stopping atom bombs.
No.
They're not talking about taking the guns away from the military or the police, just from the people. And then the other thing they want to talk about is weather control. Supposedly global warming and all this stuff. You need global control to control everyone and everything. And those aren't
we don't need that.
Those aren't people's movements.
We don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I totally don't agree with that.
The solutions are not from the top.
Are
not from the top.
Are not from the top. The solutions
from
are
us. From the people.
From human beings on the planet who are natural human beings on this planet.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what we're trying to preserve.
Yes. Well, trying to push our way through their agendas and their control.
The false, this haze of confusion, and now it's, you know, it's quite a bit frequencies too, confusions.
But and we are changing frequencies right now. We're going from a 3D to a 4D to a 5D,
which is going to make everybody a lot more psychic on a very fast level.
Right.
And people aren't ready or prepared for this.
Some people are not prepared.
No.
They're not awake, but
because we've been competitive, and competitive is the opposite.
Right, but like I said before, we can't change them. We have to change us inside.
Not that competition is all bad. I mean, it's part of human nature. It's part of the natural cycle.
Right.
I mean, we're competitive when we go and buy and sell and stuff, you know, at auctions. But it's not quite the same. It's not, you know, to gain total control of everyone else.
Right, it's not.
You know, not to be a boss and have slaves and workers. This whole worker thing. This whole worker concept is just a modernized slave concept.
It is.
It's not, we're not supposed to be workers. We're just human beings, equal.
You know what makes me so angry? I get angry about it, and that is that people who've worked all their lives, they're older now, and they're forced to work at freaking McDonald's or Walmart.
Isn't that horrible?
I mean...
Yeah, no respect.
It's part of slavery.
It is. It really is.
And I don't go for that, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
I wrote a song about it, but I'm not going to sing it because I don't want anybody to steal it. So I'll wait until I get it copyrighted or whatever. But,
very good. I think we hit a different kind of tone here. We got more.
We did.
The show is forming.
Right.
It's experimental.
It's experimental.
And I think we hit on a better.
But the thing that I want to show about myself is that I love myself, and I love all of humanity. No matter who you are, good, bad, white, black, whoever you are, I don't care. I love you, and and I love myself, and I love you too. So, and I love you. I love you, Stuart.
What you're hearing on this
awesome.
show is something that everyone
Listen.
should be aware of. This is worth people listening to.
Absolutely.
It's not for our benefit. It's for everyone's.
It's not for my benefit. I've already.
I mean, it benefits us if the world wakes up.
I've been awake for probably since.
Well, even that word woke gets confused these days too.
You're right about
that. It gets
that.
misused a lot.
It does get misused a lot.
Yes, everything that's good gets put into a different pattern.
Even since I was a child, okay, I'm going to say I've been awake since I was a child, but it's because I'm different. Something in me is different that I can see through all past their BS. I can see it all past their bullshit and realize what is going on.
It's pretty clear when you clear yourself. It's right in front of your eyes.
Right.
And it gets so frustrating when you see people buying into it.
They're buying into it.
Why? How can you not see?
And that does make me angry about people,
very angry,
having to
sleepless nights.
And they are slaves.
They are.
I mean, they're older people who've worked all their freaking lives, and they're not making enough money on Social Security or disability or retirement or whatever they're on.
Human dignity.
They're not,
Human dignity is being lost.
And they're out there. Yeah, exactly.
And they don't respect age like they should.
This is what I want the earth to be like. Okay? This is my view what the earth should actually be like. Human beings or whoever you are on the planet, you should be able to do something that you love to do, that you're good at, and you should be able to trade it for whatever you want. If you're a good singer, go sing a song for a meal. Or if you're a painter, go paint a painting and trade it for a couch, or, I mean, whatever you need. You should be able to go do what you want, get paid to do it in some form or another. You know, like,
in other words,
this is my thing, is that if you're an artist, go be an artist. Love what you do. Share your gifts with people. This is,
in other words, the schools could be set up, instead of trying to manufacture workers, slaves.
Right.
It could be set up in such a way where there's all kinds of things set up. So whatever you want to get into, if you want to get into art or music or this, that, or the other, or woodwork or whatever, there'd be all kinds of things you could do, and you could go any time of the day to these schools.
Right.
And get into your little projects and work on these stuff. Be a decentralized.
And I wouldn't necessarily call it a school, though, because that is the old way of thinking. I would say in a class, or somebody teaching you how to play guitar, how to play the flute, or how to draw
on a human level,
on a one-on-one human level,
not so mechanized.
Human to human, not so mechanized. Took the words right out of my mouth. I love you, Stuart.
Very good. We're
awesome
correlating on the vocal level very good on
saying?
this. Yeah.
So that is my view. I think we should all just share our gifts with people, whatever your gift is. Share with people, and then
be as human as you can be, and
then they share their gift with you, and you get something in return. You put out something, and then you get something back. That is the way it should be, and it should be free. It shouldn't be that you have to pay for it.
I think we're beyond the money system anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're totally going to be off of this money system. I think that the way that they want it is to go crypto and digital wallet, whatever like that. I don't even think we need that. I think as a human race, as a human people, like I just said, we should be able to do what we want to do and just exchange and just be exchanging in love.
And throughout history, people have been human and interacted.
And I don't think we need money.
No, I don't think so. Not anymore.
No.
No, the system, everything is collapsing, but everything is going to regrow in a different form,
Right.
and it's up to the people to make sure that it regrows in a people form, in a human form.
In a human, yeah.
Yeah, because
that
there's
we
going
can
to
use
be a
it
new
as human
world.
beings and give it love and give it light and express ourselves in a way that that we share it with the people, and then the people can share it back with us, and it's an exchange, and it's not you take, I give, you know.
Even simple things like the old concerts where we'd all dance in unison, straight forward to the music, to the
Right.
to the performers.
Right.
And I remember thinking how great that was, us dancing in unison, the energy, and I kept thinking,
the energy within it.
I thought,
that
God, you
we're
could live
all-
forever healthy this way. This is so nice.
Absolutely.
So nice.
Absolutely.
And they have tried to ban dancing throughout history. Do you know, in the original 1920s film code, they banned dancing for almost 40 years off the films.
Really?
I just found that out last night. They banned dancing along with sex and violence and drug use and all that. They banned dancing too. This was during the time of Prohibition, the alcohol prohibition.
So 1930s, 1940s.
This was about, I think the code was 1924 or 26. I can look again. I've got the video I got yesterday there.
So that was just before the Great Depression
Just
of
before the
29,
Depression, yeah.
30.
Mhm.
Wow.
Which was we're going through a depression now, and I think they're both manipulated.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember seeing.
It's all manipulated.
You look at
but the thing is that we can rise above it. We are above it.
Yeah, we're doing
And
pretty
that's what
well
I
in a
want-
way.
That's what I want people to realize, is that we are strong, we are powerful, and we are above it.
And
We
the
just
seeds
need
of the
to
60s
realize
cannot
that.
be wasted. We meant something.
Yeah.
We knew there was something real back then, and it's not what they say it is at all. And it's not this leftist agenda that they're pretending came up from the 60s. Has nothing to do with what we...
Has nothing to
Nothing.
do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
No.
It's a plan, it's a plot to just undermine and subterfuge and just put people in the wrong directions and
Yeah.
think we're doing right. And, as long as it's putting control into people to control others, there's something wrong with it. That's why the weather control agenda is not to be trusted, because for 20 years they haven't told us the truth about the chemtrails. So how can we believe them
Right.
about global warming or anything else? And how do we know the truth about what's happening in space with their satellites and all the other stuff that they don't tell us about?
Yeah, my feeling on the space thing is that
Some ain't right there.
I think they go in a studio somewhere.
I think most of the time.
and most of the time, and film it. Because I don't think it's real. I think that's a lie.
There might be a real space program, but it's being hidden from the people.
Right,
There
but
might
it's
be
being
bases on
hidden.
Mars for all we know.
Right.
But they're
And
not
there
telling
probably
us.
is.
There probably is.
And there probably is, but it's being hidden from most of us.
And what's really on the moon, they never
99%
told
don't
us. They
even
bring
know
back a
about
couple of rocks and say, this is the moon. Okay,
Right.
50 years later, nothing's happened.
Right.
Something ain't right there.
it. Right.
And there's
I
all
hear
that
that.
evidence that it was
I
fake.
hear that. And I don't think that, I don't know the reality about the sun. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think that because in the last 10 years, the sun has turned white.
It's not as far away as
It
they
used
say.
to
It's
be-
not 96 million miles
No,
away.
right.
It's not. It's not.
Oh my God.
It's not.
I was just gonna say that.
I know they're
too.
lying.
That exactly.
It's not 96 million miles
It's not
away.
96 million miles away.
No.
It's right there. You can see it.
It
in your
is. You can
sky.
feel it.
Right. So I
It's
think
not 96 million miles.
And the moon is not
No.
295,000 kilometers, or what they say about that either. It's not.
It's part of the big lie that we've been lied
It's
to.
part of the
on
big
so
lie.
many
And that is
levels.
such a big lie.
Beautiful
such a big
sky
way.
today, though.
It is a beautiful sky
Real
today.
clouds.
There's a few clouds. Yep.
Real clouds.
Yep. And the sun is white. And sometimes I think the sun is what do they say? It's a oh, I'm gonna have to bleep this part of it.
I noticed
it's a fake sun.
something.
It's a
I noticed decades ago that suddenly the sun would be super hot and bright and glaring the moment
Right.
it came up over the horizon, and it didn't used to be that way.
and it didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, it's something different. It changed, and they're saying it's because of global warming and stuff. Well, what about all the atom bombs that they blew off on the sky back in the 50s?
Hiroshima was one of Hiroshima.
They were doing atmospheric
Let's see.
testing. They're
Oh,
blowing
yeah.
them up in the sky and blowing them up out in the west and causing radioactive rainfall and tornadoes on the East Coast.
Right.
I used to have documentation
Well, I
of all
think
that.
that's because there's an actual dome over the planet. I think.
Yeah, we don't really know what
we don't actually know
what the real physical nature of
unless
what
you
we live
actually
in
go
is.
out there
Or what's under us.
or what's under us,
We
or
don't
what's
know.
above us. I mean, we don't really know.
We don't.
You know,
Someone
don't really
does, but we
know.
don't. The general
know what's-
population. Certain people in government may know. I mean,
Right.
they say there's all those tubes under. They have all these tunnels
tunnels
everywhere.
under the ground that go
Yeah.
from. There's actual tunnels that I've seen on YouTube and whatever that go from Washington to New York.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about
You know,
that.
so
There seems
I
to
mean,
be evidence.
yeah, there
pushing
is evidence,
a
and
lot
there's
of
and there's
whistleblowers.
awful. There's also evidence that they're bombing those tunnels. and
Yeah, I've
blowing
been
them
hearing
up
stories of
because,
that. That there's a
uh,
war going
That
on
there's children-
between the deep level people that are trying to control.
right, but they're not controlling us. We are in charge.
Right.
We are powerful. We are strong. We are
Until
in
we
charge.
individually submit, they don't control us.
Because I do not submit.
We do not submit.
I do not submit.
We ask all of you
I
to
am
quit
in
submitting.
charge. I am in charge of myself, my own soul, my own spirituality. I am in charge of myself. I am not in charge of anybody else on this planet but me. The only
Right.
thing that
We
I
don't
can
have the
do,
right to tell
Yep.
anyone else what to do.
That's right.
Unless they're trying to hurt us or our property
The only
or our family.
Yep. The only person I'm in control of is me. And the only thing that I can do is share my knowledge with people. And that's
We're all
why
here
we
for a
created
purpose.
this
If we don't
channel,
try to
too.
accomplish something with our life, then our lives can be a waste.
Right.
And-
Exactly.
And we, of course, we need to enjoy
mean,
ourselves, but we
right.
need to. We're here for a reason,
I-
especially now.
That brings up a point too about my mother. Is that I know I've said this before, but she was a beautiful, beautiful operatic singer.
Oh, really?
I wish I had her voice. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's why you like
but
to
she
sing.
was. That's why I like to
So
sing.
you heard her
yes.
singing when you were a child all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
But she was told by somebody in her family that not to let it go to her head, not that she would get a heavy head about it, you know, about her beautiful voice. That if she was a star or something like that, that it would go to her head, and that's why she didn't do it. And so I really feel like she missed her calling in life because of that. And
She was
that's
repressed
why
in a way
and
and
that's
didn't
why-
pursue it to the point she would have because she thought it would be egotistical.
Right.
Maybe she was convinced that it would
Because
be
she was
not the right thing
convinced
to
by
do.
her foster parents
Yeah.
that
Probably didn't think much of show
No,
business.
right,
Something like that.
that would let it go to her head. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of
So,
that kind of ideology
I mean-
back then, back in the 30s, 40s, 20s. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of glitz and glamour there. And there's a lot of families were afraid of their
Right.
kids getting involved in Hollywood and all
And the
that kind of
glam
stuff,
life
which
and
was
stuff.
seemed immoral to most people and stuff at that time. Not necessarily was. I think it was a pretty human,
It was
except for the wars. And I mean, the 20th century, you can't say it was all good. You can't say it was all bad.
right.
It is quite a quite a mix of the most ultimate positive human things and the most negative things, from, you know, beautiful things like the festivals, the rock festivals, to terrible things like Hiroshima and the atom bombs and world wars, and other things at all kinds of levels that we're still suffering under. The entire human race is suffering under this.
Right.
And this is our moment, our chance.
Yes, this is our moment.
Chance.
We will seize it. I truly believe that.
It has to be. Otherwise, there would be no reason for us to even exist.
Right.
It has to be. And the human spirit, I think, is rising.
Yeah.
And it was being submerged because we were all submitting, not realizing we were being put down the wrong road.
Realizing.
And you cannot trust authority to control.
No.
Because it's always going to lead to disaster. And it always leads to madness within those controlling oligarchies. Always. You know, and
that's why a lot of people right now are like, they're doing this to themselves because they're realizing the whole thing and they can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just stopping themselves. Bankers.
Well, I knew this
jumping
a year.
Off of buildings.
I knew a year ago when this started, when they pulled this thing off back a year ago in March, and it's really shocking to me that it's taking a year for people to wake up, and they're not calling it off.
What are you talking about?
The whole corona garbage and the whole thing.
Right.
And everything else that happened last year, manipulated on all kinds of political levels. You know, all the riots in the cities that they pretended were protests.
Right.
And saying that they pretended that those people were protesting against racism, and they were being racist against everyone. They're saying that they were black supremacists.
And
black supremacists were rioting throughout the United States in 2020, and they were called peaceful protesters.
Antifa.
And they were burning down buildings and tearing down statues and attacking people and dressing with this terrible black garb and looking very violent. And they were racist because they were saying that the blacks and Hispanics were superior to the whites, that we were the bad people and we owe everything to them.
And
I never had a slave. My parents never had slaves. I've never been racist.
It's a bunch of BS that they're spreading. But we're not part of that. I don't want to spread BS. I don't even want to talk about BS. Because of the fact that we're on a new way. Mm-hmm. This is
That's
new
the
dawn.
past.
This is a new dawn of a new day.
All that stuff
that's
is
the past,
passé.
And we're going to leave it in the past.
That's right. It's
exposed
itself.
And we're going to talk about the future and what we want. Our
the present and
future
future we want. Forget the past. We all need to forget it.
Right.
You know,
and
learn from the mistakes of
move
trusting
on.
authority and not let it happen again.
Right.
And build up our lives and our culture and our human heritage.
I'm getting really hot.
And it's time
I think I'm going to call it a day.
Cut off for today. Till next week, hopefully.
Till next week, absolutely. Next Monday, we will have another video come out.
And maybe it'll be even better than this one.
And
we seem to be getting better.
The only thing I can say is, if you like what we're doing, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe, like the channel, view the whole thing all the way through till the end, and that way YouTube will push it forward. More people will be able to see what we're talking about, and if they disagree or whatever, I don't care. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it.
It is important.
It does count. It is important.
It is important that we're putting out ideas that are just not out there.
No.
They're just not out there.
I think we're talking about things that are just not out there yet, but they need to be talked about.
Really, the human race needs to address these. We're not being egotistical about this.
No, we're not.
This is important. You know, we can't sleep at night because of things like this. This is important. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't important.
That's right.
With everything that's happening right now, would not be taking the time to do this.
That's right.
So
and we are. So
we're doing what we need to do.
We love humanity. We love.
It can be beautiful.
The earth.
Oh, it can be so beautiful.
It could be.
Oh, we can be so amazing.
Yes.
So amazing.
We will be.
We will be.
It's
not over yet.
It's not over yet.
It's not over. No way it's over.
Yeah.